and paint the night. So crack a beer, join the crew, let the colors flow. Big D's brushes live, yeah, welcome to the show. Got dwarves with their axes, knights on their steeds, orc war bands ready for their wicked deeds. I'll show you all the tricks, the blends and the glaze, little paint and secrets from my hobby days. No pressure here, just hang and chat, share stories of battles and paint mishaps. We laugh, we learn, mix colors on the fly, watching warbands grow beneath the brush as time goes by. Every stroke and every color tells a tale, from victory's glory to the warrior's trail, with the thread of chaos on the rise. The heroes tell no lies, with their blades in hand. It's time to purge this evil from the land. So crack a beer, join the crew, let the colors flow. Big D's brush is live, yeah, welcome to the show. Let's paint!
We're back. We're so back. Let's just see how things are. Broski, can you give me a sound check, please, bro? How's the mic sounding? Is it sound good? Let me know, bro, at the end if you think we need a little bit closer. How's this? How's that? Is that better? Excellent. We'll have to probably tweak around. Which one's that? Oh, okay. How's that? Hello, hello, hello. Test, test. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Probably should have. Okay, so we'll probably do a little fine tuning. Yeah. We'll do some fine tuning afterwards, broski. We'll just say live E for now, and then after that we can just we can tweak. So hello everybody, welcome to Big D's Brush. We're finally back for 2026. I hope everyone is okay, and we're ready to do some Green Eye. No worries, thank you for popping in. I knew you couldn't miss the intro song there. Don't worry, we'll still be tinkering around by the time you come back. Yeah, so welcome back, everyone. This is BigDsBrush. We're starting off in 2026 now. After much prognostication and deliberation and well, Mr. BitDot can testify to a lot of back and forth. I was going to stream last week, and then I wasn't, and then I was, and the days kept changing. So finally, I said no. Monday 12th. Yeah. We were gonna come back. So hopefully it's good to be streaming, broski. I must admit, it was obviously a lot of anticipation, a lot of build up on my part, a lot of the overthinking and stuff like that. So I think it's just was weird because when I was obviously originally streaming last year for those for as long as I did, I wasn't really thinking about it for a while. And then obviously I stopped, and I think I just needed time to shake the rust off and just get back into the flow. So obviously a lot of conversations with yourself, broski, about the channel in general and what I want to do with the channel, plans going forward. And so this is what this stream is really going to be about. It's more or less just it's to touch base. It's to say hello. It's just to welcome people in to the channel, and just to sort of really give people an actual a battle plan, so to speak, for the channel going forward. So, but however, first things first. This is BigDsBrush. So, as the song says, crack a drink. Well, it says crack a beer, but obviously, whatever drink you have, please crack it open and pour yourself a drink, and then we'll start. So, I've got myself a beautiful IPA here. This is BrewDog Wingman. The really cool logo there. The Indian tonic water from the old broski there, Mr. BitDot. I've gone for a Wingman. This is a nice Sessions IPA, so not too strong, but this is actually really nice. So yeah, so I'm just gonna pour this drink. We're gonna go for the perfect pour. Obviously, let's ride. Obviously, BrewDog is not a sponsor of the show. However, if they wanted to be a sponsor of the show, I wouldn't say no. But all jokes aside, obviously, that's just it's just the drink I'm drinking tonight, so that's all that is to it. One day, whoa! I'll tell you what, that's a really nice IPA. Oh, whew, I needed that. Right, so let's get the old gums flapping. I just want to really just talk about last year, that little spurt of videos I made. I made maybe a handful, maybe like 10, I think, something like that. So a lot of that was really me just finding my feet, getting used to streaming in general. You may notice now, of course, that I don't sound like I'm in a different room. Like I did before. Last time I was using the inbuilt microphone on the 4K webcam. This time round now for 2026, we've upgraded, we've enhanced. I was a good boy last year, so Father Christmas rewarded me with a beautiful brand new mic, as used by and as heard on Mr. BitDot Gaming. Broski, thank you very much for this. I've also got a beautiful brand new keyboard. This is absolutely gorgeous. Again, all thanks to I was obviously a good boy, thanks to me. And then I've got myself a stream deck, which I completely forgot about because I was using the OBS to change scenes, so I will remember to use it next time. In fact, I'll use it obviously when we go to the closing segment later on. So I'll make sure I use that. I was literally in a little bit of panic mode there because for some reason, OBS, obviously, over the time that I hadn't used it, some updated, reset, whatever. So I had to, I was all set to go for 7 o'clock, but there was some weird adjustments on the OBS side of things there. So so it wouldn't be a Big D's brush stream without a hiccup or a glitch. So I'm glad that's out the way now. So so those 10, I think it was about 10 streams. Let me just it doesn't really matter, but I just want to double check. And then I just want to. Oh, there we go. I had a bit of double whammy there. Okay, so last year, 8. Oh, they included this one's 8. So 7 streams. So we did 7 streams last year, over the period of like a month, and I really enjoyed those streams. I kind of had a rough idea what I wanted to do. I just thought, well, let's work on a couple of little projects, little things. Get used to talking, get used to giving instruction, and hopefully giving the audience and viewers a sort of a little taste, a little sense of what my streams were going to be about. They weren't as focused. You'll notice that obviously thumbnails were changing all the time with the through the process. Again, I was trying to find like a little style, a little kind of my little thing, as it were. So we did the debut stream, of course, which was it was the deep breath. It was jumping in the pool with both feet, of course, and just see what happens. So that was a lot of just talking and really just getting used to stuff. So that was great. We painted a model on that, and then we did we started doing a chaos a series of streams, starting with Chaos Rising. So that was basically the introduction to the model I was going to paint, and the blue armor, and then we did the gold in the next stream, and then we started painting the cloak and all that kind of stuff. So let's have a little bit of a retrospective. So here's that guy. Obviously, he's not had any work done to him since the last stream that we did. I need to come back to this model at some point. I will paint him off stream, and we'll have him fully done, okay? So that was basically what we... So that was a really nice little project. I showed how to join 2 pieces of a model together during the painting process. Still yet to finish his sword. But again, I really wanted to do a... like a really cool power sword. Like a red... Like a demon sword. I think that'd be really kind of cool. Very video game, very anime-esque style, magical weapon. I really like that style of, that's my jam when it comes to fantasy. I like this sort of more high fantasy style stuff. So yeah, so this is gonna be really nice to paint. I will get around to doing this. It's not forgotten about. It shall be done, and this model shall be completed. Shield still needs finishing off a little bit here and there, but on the whole, I'm proud of what we achieved on stream. So this was basically the testing ground to see if it was possible for me to actually do this kind of video. Can I give instruction? Can I give clear thoughts and commentary on the processes and so on and so forth? So so this was basically the what you call it, like the demo, the test run. So that's really cool. Again, not touched since that last stream that we did with this one. And then of course there was the snow globe project. We did 2 streams on that, and I think one was I think there was one was like building the trees, and then one was like doing the building up the terrain and stuff like that. So unfortunately, again, time got away from me. I was meant to do a couple of streams before New Year's, hopefully to just sort of, the idea was it was going to be called Tying Up Loose Ends, and it was meant to be a series of streams where I would finish off the Chaos Lord model and also the Snow Globe and the what do you call it, like the pièce de résistance, the ending, the sort of the grand finale of the whole thing would have been me with the completed Snow Globe and having a really cool shot of the Snow Globe, you know, in action. That's yeah. Thank you. I mean, I think BitDot shares your same feelings there, Green Eye, with the older. Yeah, it's good to be back. I say a lot of prognosticating, a lot of self-doubt and all that kind of stuff, which is normal. It's normal. Yeah, that's normal. It's just like I think I called it stage fright. Nova Shadow, thank you for coming in. So let's just so I'm gonna the Snow Globe project kind of fell through Christmas and all that kind of stuff, and I didn't really show much progress on stream. I do want to show you though what I ended up with, to what point I got the Snow Globe to. So here is here's the diorama. This is what I was able to get done before the end of the new year there. So I'm really happy with like how the tree turned out. This was a if you remember, we made this tree from scratch. We used electrical cable. We stripped the wire and we formed our own tree. Okay, and then I coated it in oh yeah, bless you, Nova. Obviously, I'm in BitDot's streams there, and I did notice that you said you'd hurt your thumb. So I really hope you're healing. It's not very nice to cut your thumb. I would know. I do it plenty of times at work. Thank you, broski. Yeah. So this is we built all this up using cork, and then of course we gave it a coating of filler. The tree got covered in filler as well, and I added texture to it, and then I used a series of washes, and I actually used enamel washes on this model for the tree, so that worked out really nice. Oh, the earth texture, thank you. Again, that was just built up using cork, just cork board and filler. You'll notice that this guy has got a helmet that's painted black. This is because the original head that I did for the model during the process of one thing or another, the head pinged off. However, I was able to find the secondary head, and I glued it on. Then just gave it a coat of a brush-on primer. So it's worked out well. The snow is just, again, the snow is wall filler with some white paint added to it and a little bit of water, and that just gave this really nice homemade snow effect, which I needed it to. It had to be resistant towards water. Obviously, this was going to be in a snow globe with some kind of liquid or whatever, and I wanted to make sure it was completely waterproof. The model itself isn't overly isn't painted overly great. It's I mean it looks fine. It's passable. I used a lot of I did something different with this model where I did a series of base layers, and then I used enamel washes to bring out the details, which again, so I used enamel washes on the tree. It was just nice to play around and do something different that I don't normally do, and I used Am I planning to do a World of Warcraft? Not. I have. It's not an official World of Warcraft model, but I do have a model that Sleepy Joe, had got, and he wanted me to paint it painted up for him in the sort of style of a World of Warcraft paladin. So that is going to be a project for this channel going forward. That will be a nice little stream. I think that one will. So yeah, so there we go. So that's basically where I got it to. You can see like this. I started to think. I've got some gloss enamel paint to go over with this eventually, and it will adhere to the wood a lot better. You'll see there's a bit of there we go. On the base itself, I sprinkled some glitter onto the actual base itself, just to help the snow have a bit more of an iridescent well, I only paint. I mean, I paint the models. I built the diorama. I don't make the models. I mean, if you if you're interested in, if you find a model that you want painting up and a diorama making of, I'd be more than happy to be able to do that. That'd be an interesting project for sure. Anyway, so that's the diorama there. That's just basically where it's got to. Well, if there are, I mean, I work in certain scales. I mean, if you have a miniature that you want painting up, Nova, I'd be happy to do that. Again, we'll just have to work out behind the scenes and stuff like that. But yeah, absolutely, I'd do something kind of interesting like that. I'm always open to projects and content and stuff. So that definitely would be something I would definitely, yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, there's no rush. I did buy myself a diary recently. I don't know what I've done with it. I probably misplaced. But in there was the idea was to write down projects. So and plan my streams and stuff like that. So I'd always be able to sort out some down the road, 100%. I was gonna say I do have a project I'm gonna be working on for the first month or so. I'm actually going to be doing actual edited content, Nova. So anyone else in the chat as well who might be listening or whatever, my plan for the streams going forward are essentially going to be this. So I really want to get back. 'Cause I used to do edited content years and years ago. I made videos like how to paint, like I did one on like how to paint yellow, how to paint flesh, all this kind of stuff, and they did really well. And after one thing or another, I just kind of didn't do videos after a while, so that kind of fell by the side. So I would really like to start doing that again, and I think having these live streams will be a really good way of also filming the content for those videos. So I'd be almost doing like a live stream behind the scenes / sort of tutorial type thing that I would then use the footage for and then chop up and do like post audio over the, post-production audio over the top of it, so they'll make it, because I've seen a few other guys, a lot of people do that anyway, that they'll live stream and then obviously cut their videos up into clips, but mine would be basically using it as a way to film the footage and then edit afterwards. But I would also have the pleasure of obviously talking to people in chat at the same time and also explaining what I'm doing. So that would also give me a really good way of like having an idea when it comes to the actual editing, how I would present the material. So that's gonna be really, really interesting. I'm really looking forward to doing that down the road, 100%. In fact, I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow, and tomorrow will be the first go at that. So it doesn't really change anything for the streams, except I'm not too sure if I'm going to probably go. 1 second. I ain't done that one. I did make a new scene, which was a full screen for filming. So this would be like, the main scene is obviously this. This would be like us talking and chilling with the map and stuff in the background. And then for filming would be a full screen, just because it'd probably be easier for the actual videos that I make. But I don't know. I mean, I quite like the aesthetic of having the old world map and stuff in the background. So I might just do it this way, see how that goes, then maybe do a full screen one. But we'll see. It'll just make it easy. It's just a thing I'm playing around with. So let's. That being said, I'm gonna grab another sip of this Wingman IPA. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Right, so filibuster. So that's the sort of like the general idea. So what is the actual project for this channel and for the streams for, say, like the month or so? So I already started on a chaos model, Chaos Lord, and it got me thinking, because I was like, so essentially, what I really want to do with the channel, with the videos, is do an actual beginner's guide, but an actual beginner's guide, because I do notice that with a lot of sort of videos and things like that, even though they are supposed to be like beginner's guides, they do kind of either leave stuff out, or they might sort of try and come across as over flashy to look good in front of like the new people, but then the information kind of goes over their head. It's because they want to say, well, because obviously painters are trying. Obviously, they're trying to show. They are trying to show. I mean, you're trying to show off. That's the whole point. Like, you're trying to show like how good you are. But the problem is, I think with that is, you're setting such a high standard of painting that new people will be intimidated by that. So if you show them a level that is achievable for them, with the minimum amount of you're not having to like go out and buy this and buy that and because obviously certain painters will have their own preferred brands. So you have a painter that prefers to use purely Games Workshop stuff. You'll have painters that prefer to use Vallejo or AK or whatever. There's all these Army painters, another big one. There's all these brands of paints out there that they'll say, oh, these are the best ones, these are the best ones. It's like, buy these, buy these, buy these. So I kind of want to sort of sift through all that crap and just be like, okay, right, if you're gonna, you want to start painting, here is a really good way to start doing it, to get the most bang for your buck. You're learning, so you shouldn't be expected to know everything and master everything within like however long. And you want kind of, I think so because I'm focused on Warhammer the Old World, my idea is that obviously I want to sort of try and, if this is the way I'm kind of like, okay, you want to play Warhammer the Old World, and so you want to paint miniatures for Warhammer the Old World. Well, I'm not going to tell you to go out and buy 3D printed models, or you want to play the game, so you should be able to go into a shop and buy the actual set of models without having to like faff it, because people are always saying like 3D print this, 3D print that. Well, what if you haven't got a 3D printer? Trying to track, looking on eBay, all that kind of stuff. My plan is, you're going into the shop and all the boxes are there. You're going to buy a box of models. But at the same time, I was thinking about, well, what box of models can you buy? This is purely for learning the basics, learning how to paint. And then also have multiple. I have a lot of models that you can play around and get and show progress that you can get better over time. You can look at your first model you painted, and then look at the last model you painted out of the box, and you should see a huge difference between model 1 and model 30 or whatever, or model 20, model 20. There should be you get more and more used to fitting your paints, application of paint, shading, highlighting, even stuff like brush control. Like, that is taken for granted because a lot of people, they just assume that you can pick up a brush and you can just start painting. Like, you have to get used to, like anything, if it's the first time, you have to get used to it. You have to get used to the processes, get used to the techniques and things like that. Don't be intimidated. Like, you are going to make mistakes, and this is the thing I'm going to say straight away. You are going to make mistakes. Latest work. Actually, I can show some models that I've been working on. So just for Nova, just for a quick. I'm not sure. Obviously, I think this is the. So I was during the first few streams I did. I was working on this guy, this Chaos Lord model. Okay, and I decided to go over blue armor, gold, rusted metal, red cloak on the outside, a nice grey-green on the inside to complement the red there, fur brown. Again, just like this is what I was working on for the first couple of streams, and then for the last 2 streams I did, it was the snow globe project. So essentially, all I've kind of worked on recently, Nova, was these 2 projects, and I did start towards the end of one of the projects my Chaos Marauders. I was clipping them out of the frame and just showing how to go about doing them. But again, that was the thing. It was like, for me, it was like, okay, well, the place where most people start when they get into the Warhammer the Old World, or if it's 40k or Age of Sigmar, whatever game it is, there's usually either a starter set or there's some kind of there's a like for Warhammer the Old World, we have battalions, and they've now introduced reinforcement sets, which is usually anywhere from 50 to 60 models. Okay, well, I think, and that's all. What it's good value for money. But if you're only getting into the hobby, it's a lot of money to invest in a hobby that you might not see through to the end. So this is my thinking, because okay, well, I could do a whole series on the Marauder reinforcement set, no problem. But that's a lot of models. So I decided I wanted to do some very bare bones, very back to basics, and also value for money as well. Okay, and a way that you can actually just buy a box of models and then use those models to actually learn how to paint and improve with each model. And also a model that has more or less every sort of fundamental aspect of a miniature, like in terms of, so armor, cloth, fur, skin, weapons. Okay, so these are your sort of main aspects of a model. Will be flesh, essentially like Warhammer 40k, Warhammer the Old World. So you're looking at flesh, you're looking at hair, fur, cloth, armor, and weapons. Okay, and then obviously with that, you're looking at also things like wood and steel and metal in general. Okay, not necessarily just armor, but maybe they've got accessories that might be wooden or whatever. So so now, admittedly, okay, for Warhammer the Old World, just because I like the newer sculpts, I do use the Warhammer Age of Sigmar Slave to Darkness Chaos Warriors. Okay, now you get, these are like, obviously these are newer technology. They're CAD design, the CAD designs. They're really nice models, really nice poses. You get 10 models in a box, okay. And I think this is I just better double check my I did have the doodah there. 1 second. That's annoying. I had the okay, there we go. Right. So okay, so that's not too. So for most, yeah. So you're looking at about. That's not so bad. So you're looking at about 35, say, reasonably from a good, local friendly game store or somewhere online or whatever. You're looking at about £35, okay? £35 for a box of 10, okay? Now, and these are really nice models. They're really, really good, and I like them a lot. And I've got a load of them already built, all in units, all ready for me to paint up. However, again, this is kind of like you're playing, but it comes across as confusing because I'm painting Warhammer the Old World, but I'm using Age of Sigmar models. So again, let's strip it back down. Let's assume the person in my head, because obviously I focus on Warhammer the Old World, they are going into a local game store, or they're looking online, or they might even go to Games Workshop itself, and they say, I want to play Warhammer the Old World, I want a box of whatever. So I thought, well, stick with the Chaos Warrior theme. Here we go. Sorry, and I'm just gonna double check the pricing on this as well. Oh. Okay, there we go. Okay, right. So, sorry about that. Okay, so what we have here is a Warhammer the Old World, okay? Let's just, oh. This is what I'm gonna eat after. Okay. Quick little, just over the camera. Okay, so, Warhammer the Old World. Okay, this is a box of Warhammer the Old World Chaos Warriors. Oh, 1 second. Okay, that's fine. What is it here? You'll see here we go. 32 models, okay? And you get 32 models in a box for £46. Roughly. 44, 45, but depending on where you shop around, you'll find a good deal. Okay? So where are those other guys? So you get a box of these is obviously latest technology. These are new. These are like, I think these are like 2020, 2021 or whatever. Okay, these came out. Really, really nice models. These models here. These are the models that these are actually these models are circa like 2000s, like sort of early 2000s. These models were made and produced when Warhammer Fantasy, I think like 7th edition, and that was the Storm of Chaos. So these are slightly older models, okay, but they're very, very similar. They're very sort of static in pose, okay, but you're getting 32 of these in a box as opposed to 10. So I got 10. You go 10 for 35, 32. So it's more than double. In fact, it's like 3 times the amount for another £10. Okay, but at the right. So okay. So here's the thing, Nova. This will be a discussion one time I'll probably get into, like while doing stuff, as I'm good. pricing policies of Games Workshop back in the day were not the best, okay? For a game which was so at the time was Warhammer Fantasy, okay? And that was at the time I think like 6th or 7th edition, I'm pretty sure, when these came out. Now this is a game that requires you to have mass units, okay? Like big ranks of models, 20, 30, 40, whatever. Their pricing policy at one point, you got literally, I think it was something like 10 models for 20 quid. I'm pretty sure it became that because they were like newer. So any newer models, you got like 10 models. So to have a unit of 20, you had to spend 40. And I think the prices just went up. Back in the day it was though. Back in the day, you think about like money back in the day, and you think about, so yeah, but you get 10 for say 20, 25 quid. So you got to spend £50 on a unit of 20. That's one unit in the game. That's just one unit in the game, or you know, 2 units or whatever. You put them into like 2 units of 10. So for a game that required you to have lots and lots of models in a unit, their pricing policy went right through the fucking shitter, and they were expecting people to. And that's why the game died out. It wasn't because no one was interested in playing it. It's because people couldn't afford to fucking buy their fucking models at the prices that they were selling them at. And then of course what happened was Mantic Games came along, and they made Kings of War, and basically wiped the floor with Warhammer the Old World, because with Kings of War you could buy boxes of like 30, 40 for like 20 quid. Undead, skeletons, zombies, elves, dwarfs. Like, admittedly, like some of the models were better than others, and some weren't great. But you got a lot of models for what it was. So Kings of War ended up fucking wiping the floor, and then I think they just used it to their own to their advantage. Games Workshop, because for the signs of things, a lot of the behind the scenes talk was they wanted to get rid of Warhammer Fantasy for years, and then they made way, and they did, and made way for Age of Sigmar. But of course, they got a lot of pushback for it, and the success of Total War Warhammer, the PC game, sold like just amazingly. Total Warhammer 1, Warhammer 2, Warhammer 3 was sold out. So the interest in fantasy-based tabletop games hadn't gone away at all. It's just that Games Workshop were just like idiots. I mean, half of the armies didn't get supported into the later years. I mean, I was a Bretonnians guy, and they never gave support to Bretonnians past 6th edition, 7th edition, no models, 8th edition. So it's like, so if you was a Bretonnian, so if you played Warhammer Fantasy and you was a Bretonnian player, well, good luck, gentlemen, because you couldn't get anything. So it's like, it was weird. They were alienating the fans and stuff. It was weird. It was very, when you hear all the behind the scenes talk of the old regime, it wasn't very nice at all. And then eventually, of course, when was it? I don't know. When the early talk of Warhammer Fantasy coming back, I don't know. I want to say 2017, 18, maybe 2000, something along those lines. Like, I think it's like Total War Warhammer 2. Around after that time, there was talk of it coming back, and then it was officially announced. And of course, it was Forge World who actually had brains in their head to bring it back. And of course, what happened when they brought it back? Sold out. First day of release, sold out. You couldn't get anything. They didn't make enough of it. They couldn't, and a lot of it was all it was the older models as well. So it wasn't like it was all new models. It was still selling out. It was amazing. Like, you know what I mean? And so like, just like, oh, you know what I mean? Because people love the setting. They love the setting. They love the armies. They love the game itself. I mean, the amount of different opinions on various versions of the game. Some people own it because you had first edition and second edition, but they were tabletop. They were RPGs or an RPG style tabletop, but they weren't like war games. So third edition fantasy, onwards, and there's a huge debate. What's better, third edition, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh? There's people, so it's great. But the great thing that I personally think, the best thing that SDS did when it came to Warhammer the Old World is they covered all their bases. So they re-released a lot of the older models, which the old school boys who only play 3rd and 4th edition, in their clubs and things like that, in their little communities, could now buy the models from years ago and not get scalped off of eBay. So yeah, 100%. This is I do obviously talk about my hopes and stuff for Warhammer the Whole World going forward, because I tell you, this was it for me. This was the game. Well, it was Warhammer Fantasy, obviously, but again, this was the game that got me into tabletop wargaming in the first place. So it's great to see it back. It's stronger than ever. Obviously, people have opinions on the rule sets or whatever, but I think in terms of like SDS, which is the company that's obviously what was formerly known as Forge World, they took it on. And I'm assuming Games Workshop were like, whatever, on your head be it kind of thing. And of course, they, it flew off the shelves. Despite not having the biggest budget, hence having to reuse a lot of the older sculpts. But again, one of the benefits of using older sculpts is the fact you get plenty of them for your money. So if you want to get into Warhammer not just Warhammer the Old World, but you want to get into painting in general, well, you got 32 models here for the price of 40 odd pounds or whatever. Shop around, and you'll have you got 32 models to practice on, and you can try different schemes. You can try your techniques. You can learn how to paint armor, how to paint weapons, metallics, cloth, fur. You can do the whole lot. You can try speed painting. You can try detail, whatever it is you want to do, and because these are older kits, they are really easy to assemble as well. I mean, they're literally 2 halves of the body, a head, and either 2 weapons or a weapon and a shield. So easy. So yeah. So that's going to be what I'm going to get into. You can learn how to paint units, because one thing about Warhammer the Old World is it's very much about units. So you don't have to spend hours and hours and hours on each model. It's about how the unit looks as a whole. So I'll be going over that. I will absolutely 110% definitely be trying to recreate the artwork style as well. 100%. So just to okay, let's bring the camera down again. I've got to probably maybe look into getting a secondary cam for. I was playing around, thinking about it the other day in my head. I really want a camera for the workbench, and then I want another camera for the painting. So I think I might need a better angle for the painting. So I'll look into that. Yeah. So I was playing around. I was playing around with. Putting together units and paint schemes and things like that. So first off, I'll show you the units. So what I did is I broke the units into a unit of 30 a box of 32 models. I broke them down into 3 units of 10 with obviously 2 models spare. So I can play around with some schemes and stuff like that. So I'll show you the basic units first, because I also got what do you call it? A little bonus thing for these as well. Okay, so these are just the regular models. Okay, assembled. Okay, so units are assembled. So I'll try to figure that. Oh, there we go. Never mind. So you're going to notice that a lot of these models are all primed, okay, in different ways. Oh, there we go, that might be better. Yeah, they're all primed in different ways. Okay, so now these are there's nothing special about these. They've all been assembled. I've left a couple of people. I've left a couple of ones. You'll notice there's some spaces. Oh, sorry. I had to cough there. So you notice there's some spaces. So obviously a model missing here. On this one. There's models missing off this one as well. That's because I'm going to show, obviously, the assembly process. So I wanted to make sure I left 4 models, because there's 4 models to a sprue. 4 models per sprue. So I want to show how to assemble 4 models. But I'm going to show you how to assemble a normal guy, a champion, a musician, and then a standard bearer. So that'll be all 4 different types of models in the unit. That'll be that covered. And then once they're assembled, I can then move on to obviously the models that are already painted. Now you can see various different primed models. Okay, the majority of models, I'll just show you them. And so the majority of models, I like to tend to start with a black primer. Okay. It's just a really good way to that I tend to find that black primer can be right, try again. Black primer can be a lot more forgiving when it comes to painting. Okay, if you miss any areas, the black primer will basically create like a shadow or a dark area, so it won't be as obvious as when the model, you look at the model from a distance, it won't be as obvious. So let's say, for instance, I'm painting this model. I can't quite, get your brush right into the back of that cape. Doesn't matter. Yeah, this is just primer. I'm just not really nicely primed. The model's just been nicely primed. Okay. I need to sort this camera out a little bit. But so that's a black primed. So that's standard for me. Then you have a white primed model. Okay, this is very old school. This is very not. So what I'm showing is different primers. So obviously this is more forgiving. So white primer, if you miss some areas, it won't matter as much. You won't really notice as much. I also like I explained in an earlier stream, I like black primer as well, because again, it depends how you paint models, but say you're painting your model in sections. So say you'll paint the armor first, the armor plates, okay? Any overspill of the color that you use that goes on any other areas, you can just use a little bit of black paint and go back over the areas that you've overspilled, and that'll basically give you like a reset. It'll basically just go over it and just basically correct any mistakes that you might have made, any overspills. White primer. So white primer is yes, it's a spray paint. Good point, actually. I will go into this. Okay, I haven't got the black primers. Obviously, is So, alright, so this will be a debate as well for another video. So this is what I use. This is white plastic primer, okay? There's also grey plastic primer, and then the black is just a black primer. Now, the brand I tend to use is this here. This is Autotech Professional. This is car primer, okay? This is really good primer. You can get... Oh, there it is. It's right near me. Sorry, it's right near me. You can buy... Obviously, a lot of miniature painting companies make their own primer, okay? And there's absolutely nothing wrong with their primer at all. This is Colour Forge. This is a silver metallic primer. There are other colour primers: red primer, brown primer, yellow, blue, green, whatever. They're different companies as well. So you have Colour Forge, you have Army Painter, you've got Games Workshop, you've got AK Interactive, you've got Vallejo. You have a whole multitude of different companies that make their own primers. But I promise you, okay, I have used the Colour Forge black primer, and I've also sprayed a model with this. I think it just says grey, but I've got the black primer over there, the Autotech black primer, and I promise you there is not a damn bit of difference. There is not a difference at all. They're both really, it's a really good quality primer. And the reason why the plastic primer is great because it actually gives you a key, actually keys onto the model. So when you paint, it really helps the paint to adhere much better to the model. However, the black primer is absolutely fine. It still paints on great. It doesn't really necessarily matter. So this is white primer. Okay, this doesn't really get used as much these days. This is very old school. Okay, this gives a really nice, bright, vibrant effect for your models. Brighter colors can go on here much easier without having multiple layers. Yeah. This is. I have a soft spot for white primer. If I ever do vintage models, then I tend to, I tend to go with a white primer and just relive that those old school days. You got confused with the word. It's just a spray. It's just a primer. The reason why it's obviously it primes it. It's primed and ready to go. But yeah, this is I will show. I'm going to show that I'm going to paint a Chaos Warrior, over white primer. We're going to go old school with this, really old school. I'm going to paint a. I don't remember me showing you before. Okay, yeah. Although, what do you call it? I do have some, and I will go into this as well because obviously it's quite what's the word I'm trying for? Fitting, because obviously with the crap weather we've been having in the UK lately, like spray priming. Unless you have like a dedicated space, like a garage or a shed or something like that you can spray in. Spraying outdoors in cold weather and rain and shit isn't the best idea in the world. So I went and got a bottle of Vallejo brush-on primer. Okay, so I will talk about brush-on primers as well during the videos, just to show like how if you can't obviously get outside to spray prime, then you can use a brush-on primer and have just as good results. So yeah, so that's the white primer. We're gonna go old school. We're gonna paint nice red, vibrant red armor for this guy. Really cool, really old school style. Show you a grey prime model. Okay, here we go. So this is a really cool model because this is a conversion. I don't know what I've done with the bloody with the doodah now. Bollocks, never mind. But there are two upgrades kits, which are metal weapons that you can glue onto your models for different weapon loadouts. So this is also a benefit to using the Warhammer the Old World Chaos Warriors, because in their if you're building these and painting these for actual art for armies for actual battle, your loadouts will be different for your units. So in the case of Chaos Warriors, they can take hand weapon and shield, two hand weapons, a great weapon, or a halberd. So this is the Warhammer Age of Sigmar Chaos Warriors only come with hand weapon and shield or halberd and shield. So that's also one of the sort of the trade-offs. Not that it matters too much because I don't necessarily subscribe to what you see is what you get. I wouldn't mind going against someone who had Chaos Warriors that all had halberds and he said they've got great weapons. You know what I mean? It doesn't bother me. But anyway, but I like the idea because this is a very old school thing as well. and that was hybrid kits. You would get a plastic model, and then you would get metal conversion parts. So in this case, this is a plastic body with a metal weapon swap. So the hands and the weapon is one, and that's made from metal. And I want to go into preparation of metal models, metal components, because that's a key component. That's quite a cool little thing to know, and then how to obviously glue them onto the model there. So this is grey primed. This is grey plastic primer, and yeah, it's called grey plastic primer, but obviously it has no problem with obviously priming the metal components as well. It works just as good. So not a problem at all. So that's a grey prime model, and this is basically a much more neutral colour. You can get this is a sort of a lighter grey. You can get a standard grey or a field grey or whatever in some spray paints, which is a slightly more darker grey, but it doesn't matter either way. This is a much more neutral colour that will take dark colours and bright colours just as well. Okay, so for quick painting, it's just as good. And then I did a colour primer. Okay, so here is. So here is brown. This is brown primer. Okay, and then it looks black, but you can see there's a brown tinge to it. Okay. It's quite a dark brown. If I compare this model to that one, you can see the difference there. Like the brown and the black there. This is I think it's Korax brown from Colourforge. I had a little bit left in my rattle can there, so I just gave this one model. Susie, welcome in. Oh, bless you. I should. I haven't. I need to sort of like sort things out with notifications and things like that. Thanks for popping in, Susie. Hope you're okay. Yes, this is a brown primer. Now, I actually quite like this. I quite like this brown primer because I quite like my Chaos Warriors with this kind of like brownish kind of like hue to them. And this is a great. This would be a great little speed painting way of doing a good-looking Chaos Warrior, in my opinion. I mean, we'd go over this with some nice dark metal, pick out a few little details, give it a nice wash with a brown ink or a brown wash, just to tone down the brown a little bit in certain areas, and then we just highlight here and there. And that'd be a great looking armor. Paint the weapons, obviously. We'd paint the cloak a nice color. Probably do the fur, obviously, in a different kind of, maybe like a really nice light grey or something like that. Instead of like a brown that I normally do. And that'd be like a really nice, really nice. You know, way of painting. So again, this is I'm playing around with ideas. I'm playing around with. I want to show how many options you have. What else did I show? Oh yeah. So then I had the idea. Well, how about I prime the model in black first? Okay, I literally had the tiniest amount of brown left in my spray can. Like literally, you can hear the rattle inside the can, like. There was hardly anything left in it. So, now this is going to look really black. So, I primed it black first, okay? And then I gave it a blast of brown from the top. And this is what's called, this is actually a sort of a take on a technique that's called zenithal priming. Which basically means, which is zenith, which means its highest point. So, zenithal, you're priming in layers. So you're starting all over with your dark color, and then you're finding you're aiming your spray can where you want your light source to come from, and you're giving it a quick spurt of primer over the top, the lighter color. In this case, I just kind of went over it with just dark brown in general, just to kind of see what kind of effect I would get with that little bit of brown left in the can there. And like I say, a much more muted, darker brown to work off of. Mad Eye, welcome in. You're so kind. You're always there with your flattery with me, with your kind words there. Okay, so look what we're doing here. Okay, here we go. So, right. So that silver metallic primer I showed you earlier. Okay, this is what that looks like. And I know what you're going to be thinking. Oh my God! Like, why has he gone over it with silver? Like, now the cloth is silver. You know, is he like painting the Tin Man? Is he painting the fucking a Cyberman or whatever? No. Obviously, it's a primer, just as the title, you know, the name's. It's still a primer. So any areas that you don't want to be silver, you can still paint over with normal paints, absolutely fine. Okay, it's not like a chrome. Oh yeah, that's a good. I will say the Colour Forge primers are really, really good. If you want color primers, Colour Forge is excellent. I would say just for your white, for your greys, for your black primers, if you're in a pinch, your auto primer, your car primer's absolutely fine. But if you want color primer, I would definitely suggest Colour Forge. So I had a little. So what the idea behind this would be is, okay, is all your armor, your chainmail, your armor, okay, so your helmet, your little spiky bit, your weapon, okay, is already done. There's a little bit of thinking there, Mike. So this is already done. It's all done. So all you'd have to do is either one or two things. Again, I'll go into this. You either just go in, you pick out all your details. So you go with your brown paint or whatever. You paint all your fur. You go in with whatever colour you want your cloak to be. You paint your boots. You know, brown, black, whatever colour you want to paint them. Okay. You pick out your hilt of your weapon there, little hilt there. Maybe add a few. Paint your horns if you wanted to. Paint them in a bone colour or just leave them silver. And then you give this whole model a wash of, say, like a dark brown. Give it a whole wash of dark brown. Okay, that would tint the armor to make it look like a really cool corroded brown type color. And then your chainmail would already be done, and then your brown fur and all that sort of stuff would get shaded as well. So you can shade the whole thing in one, and then just pick out little details and stuff like that. So again, what this method would actually do is basically paint all your armor and all your chainmail and your weapons for you in one go, and then you're just picking out cloth and fur, basically. So that's that one. And then, in addition to that, I did a... where is... Okay, here we go. So in addition to that, I did this one. Oh. Okay, I know you're going to say the same thing. Well, it's just the same. However, you notice it's slightly more brighter. And that's because this one, I actually primed black first. Okay? I gave it a black primer. And then when that was dry, I went over the whole model with silver primer. And the black, as opposed to the... because this is what colour, obviously, the models are before they're primed. They're this kind of like grey plastic colour. And so the silver primer over this comes out a bit more, I don't know, muted. It still looks great. But whenever I tend to, in general, if I paint silver on a weapon, I tend to make sure there's a black base coat first, and then the silver over the top of that, because of how the metallic flakes in the metallic paint actually work. So with a darker base coat, preferably a black, it actually shows up more shiny, more reflective, which is what happened here. Black primer first, sorry, and then the silver primer over the top, and that gives a much more shinier version. And again, I was just playing around with ideas here. This is not at all necessary. It's just something I was just playing around with. And then, thirdly, is another one I did where I primed the whole model black, but then I just used the silver primer on the front half of the model. So on the back, all this stuff is still normal black primer, and then the front and the side here and here is in silver. So that kind of cuts down the amount of the amount of cleanup or whatever you might have to do on that one. So again, just playing around with ideas, not necessarily something you need to do, but I was just again just playing around while I had the spray cans out. And I think we're just about there with the priming. Did I do? Yeah, okay, it's fine. Okay, so Zenithal Prime. I'm going to show this quickly. Okay, so thanks for coming in, Mad Eye. It's really good to see you, man. I'm sorry, just obviously giving my instruction here, demonstration. I was talking. I do notice you, bud. Really appreciate you. Thank you. And thanks to anyone else in chat. I do appreciate you guys. You're just listening to a madman fucking ramble on about bloody. So this is Zenithal Prime. So let's talk. So this was first primed black, and then from say a 45-degree angle, I then gave it a spray with a grey primer. So the model will be, this is flat, okay, and I'm going at an angle like this. So you're going all over an angle, and you're basically, because underneath still has all the black primer underneath still, okay? And then at the very, very top, on the top, oh, what was that? Oh, Lord Zystro, follow me. Thank you very much. Oh, thanks, brother. Thank you very much. Over on the obviously Twitch here. Thank you for that. A new follow. Welcome in. Oh my God. Someone obviously wants to hear someone talk nonsense. Yeah. So welcome in. I hope you're chill out, buddy. Settle in. Like I say, as the thingy, the guys here will look after you, Lord Zystro. Mr. Bit there. He's the mod. He's the law enforcer. He'll make sure you're well looked after. Yeah. So Zenithal Prime, and you're gonna see. So all over in black. 45 degrees, roughly 45 degrees over with a grey primer, and then literally just on the very, very top, you give it a burst of white primer. And as you can see, what this does is it gives a really, really nice effect, okay? Really, really nice effect. You get these... oh, bless you. I just made lunch for work tomorrow. What have you got for lunch there, buddy? yeah, so and what this is really good for is it's good for several different things. This is really good. This is really good for speed painting techniques. It's also actually really good if even if you're a traditional painter. What this does, it does the hard work for you. So it shows you where your highlights are, where your shadows and your highlights are. So when you have your wet palette out and you're loading up your wet palette with colors, you can choose your hues and your shades and your highlights, and you have them all in a row ready to go. So you start putting in your darker hues in the darker areas, your mid-tones in the mid areas, and then your highlights, your light colors on the light areas. So it kind of really does the hard work for you. But obviously things like your metallics, your weapons, and things like that, you'll just go over with a black paint and then paint the metallics as normal. Also, with it being modern day, current new technology and stuff like that, we now have contrast paints, speed paints, express paints. I'm not sure what the AK versions are, but you have basically paints now that are like designed to basically color shift. So you start one end and pull it towards the other, and where your brush ends is basically what your the brightest point of the where the paint is. So you get darker colors in the background and lighter colors in the front. So again, I will be showing that. Obviously, I'll be showing contrast paints. I'm much more of a traditional painter. I do prefer to traditionally paint, but contrast paints are really great, especially for doing big armies. So that's really, really cool to do. And then this is another Zenithal Primes model. You like speed paint? Yeah, the Yarn Painter one. Yeah. I'm trying to think what the AK. I think that I tend to find with I tend to use those kind of paints more as the glaze, like glazes over things. But I do tend to find that throughout the ranges, certain colours are they all behave very differently. They've all got their own little weird little quirks and stuff like that. So I do like to sort of play around and mess around with different paints there. So this is another Zenithal Prime, and the difference between this one and this one is that this is black with white spray paint directly over the top. So there's no mid-tone, there's no grey mid-tone. It's just a simple black and then white. But it does, where the white doesn't quite get to, it does create its own little transitions there as well. And then last ones, you can also hand brush Zenithal Prime your models. Okay, so this is black primer with a application of white paint. So all I did was just get a little bit of normal white paint. I got a brush like this is a filbert, okay, size 4 filbert, and I just dunked it, just dabbed it into the white paint, wiped the majority of it off, okay, and then just flicked it up and down on the model like this, okay, and it just started to collect in the raised areas, nice and quick. It just basically helps to define certain areas a little bit better, and I have more control over the Zenithal Prime as well with this way. So with weapons, I can choose not to Zenithal Prime those, just leave them black for the most part. Obviously for metallics, but I still obviously caught the weapons here and there, so I'll have to go over that again eventually. Good point, BitDot there. You're keeping me in check there. Yeah. What projects are you working on there, Lord Zistro? And then the last one, guys. This last one now. The boring's out the way. This is black primer with a light grey. Okay, a light grey. Oh, kill team. That's really cool. The kill teams are I think, a pretty good way to obviously like if you're obviously what's called, I was trying to think of ways good ways for people to get into into painting. Cause I think I come at this more from a painting mindset than I do a battle and hobbying a battling and style of things, as opposed to I'm much more of the sort of collector, painter, hobby sort of side of things. Oh, Middle Earth, that's it. There you go. I knew it had to come into my. I knew it rang a bell. Yeah, the Middle Earth strategy battles. Yeah. Oh, it's a great game put out by SDS. Yeah, SDS knocked out of the park with doing that, 100%. Some really nice models as well. I was so chuffed and glad that they were the ones who took the reins for bringing back the old world. I will say that for sure, for absolute sure. I'm glad they were the ones behind it all. So yeah, so there you go. That's just a nice simple one again. This time instead of using a pure white, I used a light grey, and I just did the same thing basically. Dipped my brush into the light grey, nice big wide brush into the light grey, got rid of the majority of it, and then just flicked over the model there, and just caught like little areas, little highlights. And again, this will take washes and speed paints quite well. Okay, so that's pretty much it for in terms of the primer. Sort of talking about the primer. Obviously, I'll have to. I will end up refilming that part off. Off stream at some point for the actual videos. Okay, so he's got that's that one there. Now, 1 second. We've got to rank all these guys back up again. You go there. Your two weapons over there. That one there, and then that one. Okay, so the fruits of the labours. So what was I? Not sure I want to start with it though. For the Middle Earth strategy battle, I'm not the expert on that game, so I wouldn't. I mean, I tend to kind of just like buy whatever. I mean, I'm pretty much I'm a whale for all things Warhammer: The Old World, and I'm giving it like my absolute deepest, fullest support. So, what do you call it? I kind of whale out for the majority of stuff that they released. Or whatever, so I ended up picking up the Bretonia starter set and stuff like that, and then I went on from there. Been buying a lot of their newer, obviously a lot of the newer kits they've been doing, which is absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, I'm not you're probably your guy. Just again, it depends what you how you approach the hobby. Again, I tend to. From a painting point of view, it tends to be like, what models interest me the most to paint, or like what army would I like to, what I think look good on a on display, or just as on a shelf or whatever. So just look around, buddy. Look for just see whatever takes your fancy and go from there. But I'm sure there's plenty of other resources out there, buddy. I think there's lots of stuff on the old YouTube and that there. There's a lot of people that do like the podcasts and stuff like that and talk about all the different various games there. I'm sure there'll be a really good resource there for you. So let's just show. I'm going to show quickly a couple. Well, not quickly, but I'll talk a little bit about some examples of what I did for. You're going to... Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. That'd be a good shout. See what's there. Obviously, you know, you've got to... you got to think about the pennies there, buddy, and just see what you can... Again, I always say, like, you know... this is why I was talking about earlier on in the... at the start of the stream there. You know, getting into a hobby is expensive, you know, just by itself, without having to obviously like spend all the money on something you might not even, you know, still do like down the road, you know. But that's why I was earlier on saying I wanted to sort of do demonstrations on a box of models that someone, you know, who wanted to follow along. So Madai, I was saying earlier on that the plan for the channel, for the streams, is to I'll be using the streams as a way to film content for YouTube. I very much want to do edited style content, which is what this whole Chaos project is going to be about. It's going to be a very much a beginner's guide from start to finish, and then from there we can. Then I want to basically do a foundation on which then other tutorials can then be built on for people to who are just starting or want to follow along or So again, just for the so what I did is I went and I looked at prices. I wanted to see what I could get bang from a buck. What wouldn't break the bank for someone who wanted to start the hobby, but from a learning how to paint point of view, and also, but it's also easy to get hold of. Again, a lot of different things that get thrown at people these days. 3D printed models, proxies, blah blah blah. Start this, start that. Buy this, buy this, buy that. So I wanted to make it nice and simple. So I went out and I got a box of Warriors of Chaos, Chaos Warriors, okay? And in this box you get 32. So these models are, again, I will stress that these are the older models compared to the Age of Sigmar ones, okay? Now I do personally use these ones. I'm personally using these ones for my Chaos Army, okay? But I don't expect people to go out and buy a box of these just to learn how to paint with, okay? I think this is a much better purchase for the money and for the amount of models that you get in the box. Also, they're easier to assemble, and you've got a lot more options, and there's a lot more. And the amount of areas on the model that you can learn is really good. So let me just show you. So look, so as you can see on the box, okay, these are the studio models. They're nice and simply painted, okay. So you'll see black with silver trim to the armor, like a light kind of khaki sort of style cloaks, brown fur, horns, weapons, okay? So you've got the shield types, shield variants, and then you've got the two-handed weapon ones, guys, okay? On the back shows you what a fully painted unit can look like, and these ones are slightly painted differently. They've got some red in there. They've got some variation, okay? So what I did is I played around a little bit with some models the other night, okay? So this is not finished. So here is my take. It still needs cleaning up a little bit on that version of the weapon's not painted yet. And the skull there needs finishing off, etc. But this is sort of my little take on that style of model. Not great, not stellar, okay, but this is easily achievable. It's just basically black primer with an off black painted over the top of that armor, and then just the metallic trim and so on and so forth. I've got there's loads of these finishing off. It's not done yet, I just like to play around. I like to test out colours. This cloak needs a wash. This bone needs doing. There's still like stuff that he's doing to it, but I want to try and get that kind of black armor, the scratches in there. Again, nice and simple, not intimidating. You're new to the hobby. You want to paint these guys. You shouldn't be worrying about like, you want progress, not perfection. You want something that these guys are all going to be in a big unit. Okay, they're going to be ranked up. They need to look good ranked up. So obviously, we'd play around with doing different things. Okay, so this is it's a very basic paint job, not finished. I will finish this. I will finish this off before the next for the actual tutorials itself. I'll do a whole better one, much better job than this. However, because here's something else I want to kind of stress. Really, is that this is me trying to imitate an existing style. This is like the Games Workshop style, okay, for their models. Again, the bone needs highlighting, little areas, little thing, weapons you paint in, the handles, all this kind of stuff, whatever. So little areas still need picking out. I need another highlight on the fur and that kind of stuff. This could do with a wash. It looks a bit more brighter than it is, but the shades need to be a bit more defined. So I go in there with a little wash here and there. But this is me this is me imitating a style. What I want to get into is coming up with your own styles, or how your style of painting, you'll find it will look better. So here's my Chaos Warrior. This is my Chaos Warrior. Okay? This is not the studio Chaos Warrior. This is my... This is not me imitating a style. This is me painting my style. The bone still needs finishing off here. Because I paint very differently to Games Workshop. I don't do a lot of edging. The Games Workshop models is a lot of sharp edges, sharp corners when they paint. Okay. When I'm painting, I wanted something that would look good, but can be painted quick, and also have Batman eye. I knew that was coming. I knew as soon as I said it. Okay, so this is my little take on that. Cloak's still not finished. Cloak needs shading and highlighting. But this is my art. I'd say, so here is, again, my take on a Games Workshop style model. Okay, silver edges, silver trim, black armor, and then my take. Weapons still not done. The weapons have just had a wash earlier on. But I went for black armor with turquoise as a highlight color, and then I did a little bit of what did I put in, like a little bit of a light blue grey just on the just for the final highlight there. A nice fur collar, and then a red cloak. But I'm going to shade that down and highlight that up. So that's kind of like, so my actual, do I have, it must be here somewhere. Okay, so this is one of the Age of Sigmar Chaos Warriors here that I've got assembled. I've got another load of them all waiting to be painted up. This will be the colour scheme for my Chaos Warriors. Okay. So that's that one, and then again I just finished off weapons as well. And then I had a bit of fun, going playing around with ideas, and then I came across, I was going through all my paints, and I came across a Games Workshop technical paint, which is called I can't remember what it's called now, but it's what do you call it? Oh God. What an idiot. 1 second, it will be here somewhere. Oh, I can't remember the video. But it's like a really cool, like green, brown, technical paint. Okay, there we go. I was nearly said Nylock Oxide, but I know for a fact it's not. Typhus Corrosion, that's it. Typhus Corrosion. So basically, it's like a grey, it's like a green, grey, black, brown side, a brown green kind of colour, and I thought basically it has like a little bit, like a little bit of grit in it, has a little bit of texture, so it gives this kind of really cool effect to stuff. And so what I did is I thought, well, what about if I paint over the armor with this technical paint to get this really kind of cool, kind of corrupted style, like a dark, grim style model. So this is what I came up with. Again, nothing amazing, but very quick and easy to do. So I use the Typhus Corrosion as basically as a base coat for the armor. I put it on the shield, on all the armor, on the helmet there. I even put some on the cloak, and I just used it as a normal paint. So I added in a desaturated grey green into the Typhus Corrosion for my highlights. So what this gave is, and then obviously painted the gloves brown. I used very muted colours, browns and greys and things like that. Silver, very like rusted silver. Yeah, and again, but this is like a very just different and fun, and it gives a really cool like effect to the Chaos Warrior. Like it's very, very different. It's very corrupted. Like it has, you can feel it actually. It has texture on the model, so it gives it almost like a much more 3D effect. And then once the armor was painted, I went in and painted all the other areas, just to. So I thought it's a really, really cool looking style Chaos Warrior there. Again, like very, very muted tone. You can see the sort of shine. It's the Typhus Corrosion there. But I was using the technical paint as like a base paint and basically just went in with highlight colours. So that was really cool to do, and that would be a really good one to show. And then I do want to do the box art version, which is, this is quite similar to it in a way, but I think I need to what do you call it, refine it more, and yeah. So anyway, so these are, so what you have here are 3 different styles of model Chaos Warrior. Okay, they just look really, they look unique, they look different. Okay, they're all not the same. This is what I'm about. It's really cool to just have fun and play around, and not be afraid to try different things. Not be afraid to try your own style. Find your own style. It's like finding your own voice, you know. Find your own style, and then you'll have a lot more fun with the hobby. But I do think having a basic tutorial. Okay, so it'll be basically just showing how to do this. This sort of style. I'll refine it more. Make sure it's you know, I'm just familiarising myself with the style. So when I've got it more or less perfected, then I'll be able to actually do it as a tutorial. So you'll get like a box art version. Sorry, not box art, but studio painted style model that you can easily replicate for you know, for 10, 20, 30 models. But then what I would do is I would show how to obviously individualize your models, you know, in the units. because you don't want them to all, even though it's a mass rank and flank game, you don't want every unit in the game, it's like every model in your unit to look the same. So you'd be like choosing a different colour for the emblems, maybe the horns on some models will be different colours, darker colours, lighter colours, more lighter bone, darker bone. The cloaks, you know, you give one with, you know, you say you have X amount of models in a unit. So for instance, like this is a unit of 10. Okay, so in a unit of 10, I'd make sure that I probably do something like I would do 3, 3, and 4. So I choose 4 models that would have one style or colour of cloak, 3 models to have another style, colour of cloak, and the other 3, and then they would be like intermingled. So you wouldn't have like a whole front row of like red, or front row of khaki or off-white or whatever. It'd be like there'd be a red cloak, grey, brown, brown, red, grey. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But they would still fit because they would all have they would all share the same colours, but in different areas. Okay, so that is pretty much the idea, the plan going forward, Mad Eye. But this is just the and obviously the rest of the chat. This is just the what do you call it? Like the sort of the actual proper go at it. Last year, those 8 or whatever videos I did, those streams, were basically me just trying to find my feet and have a testing ground and see if I could actually do it again. I'd say it's been a while since I've done any kind of tutorial or instruction or talking, you know, at length. So I think this will be great. I'm gonna love doing. Yeah, thank you, Broski. I say I'll have my little, you know, I'll have my sign-ons and little doodahs and stuff. Yeah, I think the YouTube videos are gonna come into their own. And it's gonna be what's gonna be great about it though is doing the streams and sort of showing you the processes as well. So you'll be basically getting like behind the scenes look at the videos anyway, because I'll be painting up the stuff on stream for those videos while talking and engaging with you lovely people and chatting and obviously thinking what's going on with you guys. I do want to start also implementing you know, a little bit of chit chat in terms of the hobby in general, my love of Warhammer Fantasy, my excitement and enthusiasm for Warhammer the Old World as a game, as a system, as a brand again, and what is. I can't wait to see what comes out of Specialist Design Studios. You know, in 2026, I think the new models they've done have been amazing. You know, Grand Army of Cathay, absolute brilliant execution for the first lot of models that they did. I can't wait for the reinforcement set. I think that is going to be absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. When that comes out, archers, peasant archers, and peasant spearmen, and just it's going to be such that is going to be an amazing project, absolutely amazing project for 2026. The Chaos Marauders, the brand new ones, the Marauder set, incredible. Peasant, that's what they're called, peasant levy. Something. 1 second. But make sure I'm still on the what you call it. one thing I noticed, I was looking at the. Okay, we're good. What you call it? But I was actually looking at my streams, the analytics and stuff for it. I noticed that some of my streams had gotten what you call it, doodah, not strikes, but just copyright doodahs, but nothing, no action, because I'm not monetized or like that. But it was just like because the music obviously during the streams would like switch to synthwave that wasn't like quote unquote license free, but there's no drama there. But I'm just trying to make sure. I just want to test to see if this I just want to test to see if what you call it, broski. I get it, but I like the music. I like the music in the background. So I'm gonna just see if this this compilation that I've used since the start of me streaming. I'm gonna see if this gets noticed in the doodahs. If not, then I know that I'm good to go with this one, and I might just have to find a source for it, and then maybe just have it, you know, on my actual playlist on loop, and then make sure it just loops over and over and over, and that way I know that I won't get any weirdness. But they're real good. It's like I'm not even monetized, so they can't fuck it. There's nothing they can take off me. So. And I don't really know if I've got VOD on Twitch or so I don't really know if, I think my streams on there just disappear, I think, so which is fine because I use YouTube to archive, so it's not a problem. So I don't think any segments of the streams on Twitch get like muted or like that because there's no playback, so as far as I'm aware. I was gonna show the doodah. 1 second. So yeah, I'm very looking forward to what is coming out of Warhammer the Old World in 2026. I can't wait. Where is? Oh, there they are. Let me just download this. These are incredible. Okay, I should have to share these now. 1 second. There we go. Plus. Image. Add image. Yes, okay. Browse. Here we go. Boom. Boom. Look at them. Look at them. Oh. This is what's coming out of Warhammer the Old World, baby. This is what Warhammer the Old... It's that meme, isn't it, broski? It's that, what's it? Yeah, the Avengers, Age of Ultron, when Quicksilver says to Captain America, "This is Shield," and then Captain America's like, "This is what Shield's meant to be, or whatever, supposed to be." Yeah, this is. I might have to do a meme of that. You know, I have that bit where it's like, this is Warhammer the Old World. It's like, this is what Warhammer the Old World's meant to be. Look at them. Absolutely, this is gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. Like, this is what's. Because obviously, again, unfortunately, you know, Warhammer the Old World. Look, Shelob I've noticed a lot of the. I do get the updates on the email, the Warhammer community stuff. So I do see like all the other miniatures for the other game systems and stuff. So yeah. I know a lot of people wanted to use the eagles for Wood Elves. Because unfortunately, I was gonna basically say that unfortunately I'll remove that now. I'll put it back to the what do you call it? We'll just we'll click that off. Oh yeah, broski. Yeah, of course you are. Yeah. It's your bet. Yeah. It's almost 9 o'clock. It's top of the hour. Broski, get your sleep. Good night. Thank you very much, and we'll maybe go over microphone settings and stuff, broski, at some point, if that's okay. Just to, we'll just tighten up a little bit, if that's alright. Oh, I love seeing this. Everyone's saying bye to Mr. BitDot. Mr. BitDot, just so everyone knows, is my broski. He's my real broski. He's my blood. And, yeah, he's been nothing but an absolute godsend when it comes to me streaming and setting things up for me. No, Bad Eye. Yeah, I know you are. I know Bad Eye. But he's, yeah, he really has. He's given me the push. He's been supportive, and he was the one that pretty much set up OBS for me. I didn't have a fucking clue. I was like a bloody, what you call it, clueless. But I'm alright with it now. It's just, I was like, he's obviously got one of these microphones, so he might just be able to help tweak it for me, make it sound absolutely, you know, buttery smooth. And then we could probably get a bit of the old, what you call it, the old ASMR on the go. Do you know what I mean? Some ASMR painting. Broski, Le Bosh. Everyone's saying goodnight to Broski. I love seeing that. I love seeing people in chat all saying goodbye to each other and hello and stuff like that. So it's great. Thank you very much, Broski. You get a good night's sleep. So chat, this I don't really know what I'm gonna talk about a little bit, because I don't really have anything necessarily to paint for stream. I suppose I can lay down some metallic paints, some metallic colours on some weapons. Suppose we'll probably that one that was where's it gone? Where's it gone? Have I gone blind? Oh, he's here as well. Look at my eyes. Yeah, okay. We'll do a little bit of painting, and then we'll call it. We'll have a bit of a chit chat, bit of a chin wag about yeah, my hopes for Warhammer the Old World going forward. So I'm not gonna do anything special here, guys. It's got the I've got my little this is a well palette here. I'm just gonna I'm gonna just paint the weapon here on this guy. When I come to actually do tutorials and stuff, I have all my desk actually all organised and stuff kind of out the way, and then I can have my palette there and model there, and so all I'm gonna do is just let's grab that brush there a second. Let's grab a paper towel. I'm gonna lay down some dark color. This is actually the old army painter gunmetal. I still have some of the. Oh, good night, Zistro. I need to type in the name there on text to speech or something, so I have to pronounce that properly, buddy. But oh god, where's it? Oh, okay. Yeah. To be fair, I've got a long week. I've got a 7-dayer, but I can't let that affect my streaming. And that's where. Yeah, let's just go back. We'll see if that does. Yeah, cheers, buddy. Thank you very much. I do appreciate the follow. Honestly, like, hand on my heart. Thank you very much for following. Steffu! Brother! Oh, don't apologise, Steffu. You're fine. Absolutely fine. Christo. Okay, Christo. Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay. That sounds more, what you call it? It makes more sense now. Lord Christo. Thank you, buddy. I will, Stephanie, what you been setting up the net cable for my PS5. Yeah, Lord Christo, buddy. Thank you again for the follow. Yeah, absolutely, mate. Catch me next time. And also, if you're, they're there if you're interested over on YouTube. BigDsBrush, all the previous live streams I did were on there. But if you're interested in just seeing some of the bits and pieces that I painted up in the past there, but obviously going forward, these are going to be a whole series of structured streams and videos. So thank you very much for popping in. So Steph, you're out with you're setting up the old what you call it there, the net cable or whatever. Is that did that end up being quite a mammoth task? Let's see if we can drop this arm down a little bit. Let's drop it down just a touch. A smidge. A smidge. A smoozy. Oh, that's too low. That's going to be no good. Tell you what, guys. Oh, I reckon that's fucking... Oh, there we go. Maybe there first. How's that? There we go. You can see some fucking actually. And the Lord said, "Let there be light," and there was. Well, actually, BigDsBrush said, "Let there be light," and there fucking was. There we go. The problem is, I'm actually having to use the the camera as a frame of focus to see what I'm actually painting. Oh god. Don't know if this will actually fucking work. To be fair. There's nothing special, by the way, guys. I'm just laying down base coats, metallic base coat. That's what I'm doing. These this chaos. That's way too. I can't even really get my head in to see the bloody model of that. That's not gonna work. Tell you what, I am seriously gonna have to maybe look into better positioning and camera setup, I think. I am playing around with the idea of a new camera. Oh, Steffi, you're too. This is just one second, Steffi. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a sip of Wingman. I'm going to take a sip of Wingman IPA. Just to wet the whistle. Right, there we go. I can talk popping now. So Steffi, what I'm going to be doing, buddy, for the streams is, I want to start making edited content. I want to make edited content, okay? So the idea is I want to do a series of tutorial videos for beginners, aiming at people who are just getting into the hobby, and so for value for money and for the amount of models and the fact that you can paint so many of them and have a better way of progressing to get better at painting, I decided to go for a box of Chaos Warrior Stefu. So you get 32 of these guys in the box, okay? For a pretty good bargain. And this is the studio. This is my take on the studio scheme. And it's just this is so obviously people who will buy the models, they'll see the box art and maybe want to replicate the box art there. That's arm dropped down again. 1 second, guys. So I've got to get a better camera arm or camera setup. It's a good camera arm. It just seems to have it's dropped down its own weight for some reason. Yeah, so it's not stellar stuff. I'm not gonna lie, mate. It's not. What the fuck is going on? Right, that's it. It's over. The stream's over. It's finished. No, it's fine. Give me a second. There we go. That's it. We're back. We're back, baby. Woo! Just to steal Mr. Bitdot's doodah there. We're back, baby. Woo! Right, okay, so I'm back. Okay, so yeah, so this is just the I can show you the box now, Stefu, because the camera's back out again. So here's the box of Chaos Warriors, okay? So that's sort of like my take on like this kind of guy here. So black armor, silver on the edges, okay, silver trim, and that kind of thing. Mad Eye, yes, mate. Thank you very much for being here, buddy. I'm sorry, I'm still what should we call it? So you've persevered, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you. You get a good night, my friend. So yeah, so basically, Stephen, that's my sort of just basically generally my take on that model. But it's not really like my style of painting. Games Work, I've sort of said this before already. Games Workshop, their studio painters, their style is basically a lot of hard edges. They paint a lot of stuff with a lot of defining hard edges. Whether it be their 40k stuff, the Age of Sigmar stuff. So it's very much their sort of... But it's also, to be fair, it is quite a quick and easy way to paint, because you're putting down a solid base coat, and then you're doing like a defining edge, which does you know, quickly highlight a model. But I will show you, Stefu, if you will give me 2 seconds, buddy. Let me just get this base coat down on this weapon here. I'm just going to give this a quick general base coat. This is gunmetal. So basically a metallic with a metallic silver with a lot of black in it. Basically, very, very dark. You tend to have 3 metallic silver paints in a range, which is basically a really bright silver, a mid-tone, which is normally called chainmail or something along those lines, and then you have like a bolt gunmetal, or a gunmetal. Sorry, bolt gunmetal was the actual name of the Games Workshop name for the gunmetal there. Let's have it. So I think Stefan's is yeah, I thought that's what was happened. Like, everyone just started leaving. Like, the second I actually do some painting, everyone's leaving. Nah. Everyone's just being lovely and friendly towards each other, which is what I like to see. I like to see that in chat. Okay, 1 second, Stephen. I'm sorry, mate. There we go. My brain's back now. I lost my brain somewhere. Yeah, we're going to be going to about I think 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, I think is good. It's a good stream time. I'll have to what do you call it? Sort of decompress and think myself ready for work tomorrow. But we'll see. Okay, so yeah, so that's the Doodle one. Okay, but we'll leave that. So Stefu. So I'll show you a couple of different. So this one is my style, buddy. This is the one I painted for myself. This is what my Chaos Warriors are going to look like when they're done. With the armor and stuff like that. The weapons still need finishing off. Thank you. So you see, that's like the studio type model. Which, I mean, to be fair, it's quite slapdash. I got to tidy it up and stuff like that. And it's a very nice, quick and easy way to do it. I still have to highlight the boots and stuff. But you'll see it's very monochromatic. It's very much blacks and dark blacks and dark steels and stuff like that. Until you get to the back, and then it's kind of like this kind of like off-white style cape. I've got the bone to finish off here. Highlights on the fur left to do. Highlight on the bone, on the horns left to do. But it's a nice, quick and simple scheme, really. It's black and then a couple of other colours. So a beginner would have no problem. I would think would have no problem with this, because you're just having to basically just paint a load of edges with silver, and then I have a really good kind of cheat anyway, which I could. Oh, you said I can show you. Okay, so I have a really cool cheat. And this is what I call. This is what I call cheating. No, it's called. It's actually the technique is what to call it. I've heard it called all sorts of different things. But basically, we're gonna reclaim. Okay, there we go. There's a bush. So what I've done is I've taken a little bit of black paint. Okay, because the armor is essentially black, but I've gone over it with an off black. It's a black where it's got like a little bit of blue and stuff in it. But you'll see here on the shield where I've gone too. This lot, that's way too much here. Okay. So all we do, nice simple fix. All we do, take a nice fine detail brush. Okay. Hold your model, nice and steady. Put your brush to the line and pull down. So now we've minimized the silver. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing here. Look, this top corner, there's a bit too much overspill there. So I'm going to put the brush to the tip where I want the silver to stay. I'm just going to rush the brush a little bit and just thin out that black. Just pull it across. Just pull it across like that. Blend it in. Blend it in. Okay, so there we go. So now, look at that. Look how fine the detail is now on the silver, on those silver edges. Because obviously this is obviously giving the effect of obviously the what do you call it, the shield or whatever is obviously a metallic object that's been lacquered or whatever over the top. So it's been dinged and it's been yeah, thank you. Thank you, Green Eye. But it's just so it's, yeah, basically it's just like, so basically all I've done is gone. All you're doing is you're wanting the edges where it's been dinged to show through, and then I've done like a couple of little nicks, little wispy lines like here and there. I mean, I don't like all of these, to be fair. I think I might remove that one. That needs thinning out a little bit. So it's just. So let's just thin out that line there. Again, all you're doing is you're putting the brush to the point you want to keep and then pull back. That's why black is quite a forgiving. There we go. Perfect. Quite a forgiving colour. I don't like this one. Don't like this at all. Let's get rid of that. That's garbage. One thing I really want to get across is it's not. Don't be ashamed or put off when you make mistakes. I make mistakes still all the time. Like as good as I am, which I don't think I'm that good really. But I still make mistakes. But one of the main things is learning how to correct the mistakes and overcoming the mistakes and overcoming your shortcomings and stuff like that. Little tips, little tricks to help. There we go. So that now, that looks 100 times better. I can still see a little bit of the still a little bit too much of that metal showing through here. There we go. Now what we'll have to do is putting that in. Now what I'll just do is because I went to the edges, the actual colour of the shield isn't a flat black. This is the colour here, so I found it now. This is the name's irrelevant. I mean, this is like a fantasy name. It's called Death Reaper, okay? But all this is, that's the fantasy name for it. But if this was an actual a colour wheel or whatever of actual pigments and colours, this would be basically like I don't know, like a an off black. It's such a hard colour to describe. I mean, they all have these. Like a lot of like with oil paints and things like that. A lot of their names are derived from the pigments or where the pigments are. Where the pigments are found, where the pigments are farmed or located, and so on and so forth. When you think about names, like you hear names like burnt umber, raw umber, burnt sienna, anything like that, they're usually named after locations, areas, and then the name before it. So for instance, there was there's a colour called lamp black, and in oil paints there's lamp black, and that's because that was made from I believe this there was the soot, the pigments came from the soot from lamps. So lamp black. You have ivory black, which doesn't really exist now because obviously that was made from as bad as it sounds, obviously from ivory, you know. Actual ivory from like animals and things like that and stuff they used to, but that's not so much the case now. And then umber is obviously is a place, and so you have burnt umber and then you have raw umber. Well, but that basically means that the pigment is either it's raw, like just as it's been harvested, it's just raw, or the burn before the burn is basically where it's been burnt, which obviously gives it a different pigment altogether. So you tend to find that in like miniature painting circles, because we use acrylic paints. The acrylic paints are usually named in a fantasy or sci-fi style naming way. So you'll have like dragon red and all that kind of stuff. Dragon red and, you know, ogre brown, and doesn't mean they don't mean it. They're nothing to do with the you know, the pigments or anything like that. They're just a way for them to basically catalog their line of paints. In fact, so I'm just going over the shield now. The areas that I went back in with the black, just to like obviously redefine those edges and stuff with the off black, and that was help give the shield that bit more depth. There we go. Much better. Okay, right. So here we go. This is not really the best example in the world, but so this is a these are my favourite paints. These are P3 These are the new improved formulas. Okay, these are fantastic. So Famar Black. Well, Famar. These paints were designed years ago in 2006 for a game system called War Machine. Okay, an American based company called Privateer Press developed their own game, which was to rival Warhammer 40k, called War Machine, and they wanted their own paint line to rival that of Games Workshop. And so, and funnily enough, the guy they got to work for them was actually a British guy who actually worked at Games Workshop in the very late 80s to the very mid to late 90s. A guy called Mike McVeigh, who really is one of the sort of semi founding fathers of miniature painting in terms of making it like like you have like you would always see his stuff, you know, in White Dwarf, or he was like a rock star of miniature painting back in the day. He was a young lad as well when he first started there. So when he left Games Workshop, they snapped him up, and so obviously Privateer Press, for their system, made their own world, their own universe, and so Famar is a location in their universe. So Famar Black just basically means like, doesn't mean it's just this is what the colour's called here. But what these new paints have done, for the bottles, is actually give you the real what the colour actually is here. So this Famar Black is actually classed as a deep dark black. So that's your actual categorization for the colour. So I like this a lot. I like this, the fact they give you the non-bullshit, or not the in-law name for the actual pigment or for the actual colour. So this is a deep dark black, and then there are obviously there'll be like oh god, hello Twitch. Joey C1 has just followed. Joey C1, thank you, buddy. If you're there in chat, say hello. Don't be shy. Say hello. So yeah, so basically, I like this, but again, this is one thing I learnt to do when it came to painting a long time ago was this is how you should. Oh, so glad. Oh, Joey, mate. Yeah, old world all the way, bud. Yeah, so as you can see, this is one of the best ways to learn how to paint and look at colours, is just by looking at the actual the bottle. Okay, turn the bottle the other way around and look at the colours themselves, because the names are basically like it's a cataloging way of doing stuff. I've just finished painting a Ogre Kingdom's army. Oh, Joey, mate, seriously. That's great. That's awesome. I'm gonna set up my Discord properly, so people could probably post their armies and things like that in the Discord. But I still have a long ways to go yet, buddy. We're sorting that out. But if you have social media or anything like that, buddy, don't be afraid to share that in the chat, mate, and I'll be sure to. If you have Instagram or something like that, I will absolutely follow you, and I would love to see your painted army. Again, like, you're looking at stuff like this, you look at paints like that this way. So there you are. You can see that's black. You can see this is off black. And another good way, which I'll go into when it comes to the hue or the tone of a colour, is actually to add white to the colour, and then you can see what you're actually playing around with when it comes to especially when it comes to darker hues of colours, because you'll see that maybe some like a dark green black, obviously while green in it, but you see how white will affect the colour, because as much as there's a lot of talk about not using white and black to shade and highlight colors, because there are, they have their applications, and usually it's normally for a deeper shade or whatever, or in case of white, you can really use that just to really add little flourishes and stuff like that. But white is a really good color to use for determining the hue of a color better. So like I say, these are the old style army painter. They've updated their range a long time ago, but I've had these for a while. I wanted to use them, and if I just do this very quickly, okay, I mean the pots are a little bit, but you see you go from a progression from a dark gunmetal to a chainmail. So this is plate. I think this is plate metal. Yeah, plate mail. But they're just progressions of silver. Every range of paints has this progression, regardless of what it is. Citadel, Army Painter, P3, Two Fin Coats, AK Interactive, Scale 75, Pro Acryl. All these other companies, they all have this. They'll have a basic triad of a dark silver, a medium silver, and a light silver. But again, they all have different names. Every company will call their silver something differently. But you look at it, it's the actual hues, the colours that are the most important. But the only reason why, obviously, these colours have names is for categorization, and also for when you want to explain how to paint something, you will say, use so and so gunmetal, use so and so black, or use so and so dark green grey, or whatever it is. But I would just honestly say, look, if you've got a colour that's close enough, then use that colour. It's that simple. So yeah, I'm going to just fully base coat that hammer. So yeah, Joey C1 buddy, just to give you sort of the idea with this channel, I'm working on stuff. I'll show you some bits in a minute, Joey. But the idea is, obviously, I've got some Chaos Warriors here. These are the obviously the old school circa 2000s Chaos Warriors. Obviously, that Games Workshop sell size 32 in a box. And the reason, obviously, for buying these guys is that you get a lot of models, and they're really good to practice on for beginners to at least try different schemes, different techniques, and just learn how to do a basic model. You've got areas of armor, you've got cloth, you've got leather, you've got weapons, you've got fur, you've got metal, you've got bone. So you can more or less learn how to paint almost every facet of a basic model on this one guy here. So I think that's a very good value there for what you get. Joey, if you're interested in obviously maybe my skill level, when I actually put my mind to it and stuff like that. This is a Chaos Lord, obviously the limited edition one that was for Age of Sigmar, but obviously repurposed it for a Chaos Lord just for Warhammer the Old World. But I've just done it in this really kind of cool blue and dark gold style scheme there. It's not finished yet, buddy. It was something I started before Christmas and never got around to finishing off, just because of just other commitments and work and things like that. But yeah, so that's the Chaos Warrior Lord. And then the other thing I started before New Year there was this little diorama. I was making a snow globe diorama just for as a really cool little project there. But again, didn't quite finish it, or didn't finish it. Oh, not quite finish it. And hopefully, I'm gonna get round to finishing off this snow globe at some point in the next couple of weeks or so. Yes, yeah. I've got the reinforcement set. I I decided I wanted to try. I wanted to use one of the new guys for the diorama. The head is hasn't been painted yet, but it's a replacement head because the head I had on this guy originally, when I went to try and test the snow globe, it pinged off and I lost it. So. Building this guy was quite straightforward. I've got all the other ones. I've got my first unit clipped off the sprues and cleaned up, ready to assemble. They're going to be part of again part of this sort of chaos project for the first couple of months or so. I assembled this guy pretty easy, and I'm not going to lie to you, Jerry. This model isn't the best paint job in the world that I've done. It was quick and dirty. I used acrylic paints, base coats, and then I just went over it with enamel washes just to bring out the details. I think it worked really well, like really nicely. So, because the main idea obviously was it was for the scene as a whole. It wasn't about painting the most good look, the most best paint job in the world. It was like I wanted it done quick and easy, and just so I could do the finish the snow globe project. Made my own tree. It's a really good set. I'm definitely gonna definitely get it done. I really liked the models. I'm 100% behind a lot of just seeing new models for Warhammer: The Old World. I really am. I want this this game to go strong, to be strong, to carry on. I think 2020. I want this 2026 for Warhammer: The Old World to absolutely flourish and grow, and I can't wait to see what models come out of it. Anyway, so this is kind of the sort of thing I can do, Jerry. Like I made my own tree and stuff like that. You want new ogres? Yeah, I think. I don't know, Jerry. I think it's again. There's a lot of weird politics, obviously backstage politics with Games Workshop and specialist design studios, obviously in regards to which armies they can use and which ones they can't, and so on and so forth. So more than likely, buddy, I think the new models for ogres, you're probably looking at the AOS guys to be maybe producing those ones, which is, I mean, like I was showing earlier on, Jerry. I've got the AOS Chaos Warriors, mate. I like them a lot. I have no issue with. I've got 4 boxes of the AOS Chaos Warriors. So that's gonna be my that, and I've got the I've got 2. Sorry, I've got 2 lots of the original Start Collecting Chaos Warriors, which were like the easy fit ones, these easy assemble ones, and I've got 2 boxes of the the actual multi-part Chaos Warriors. So I've got about 4 units worth of Chaos Warriors already. These guys that I'm working on here are just purely for tutorial purposes, and just so there's these are easy to get hold of. For a box of 32, they're a good bargain, as long as you find if you find somewhere decent online to get them from. You can get them like as cheap as 40 quid, 39 pounds, or whatever, depending on where you go. You get 32 models, and they're easy to assemble, and they're really good to practice painting on. This is why I got them for my first series of actual painting videos. So I think, and this is like my style that I like, that I've going to do my actual Chaos Warriors in, and that's the GW style Chaos Warriors. That's not finished yet, but it's my take on their style. And then this one, Joey, was a little fun thing I did where I used Typhus Corrosion as a base coat for the armor, and I just use it as a normal paint. I just added in my highlight color to the Typhus Corrosion and just started doing my highlights. So it came with this. So it turned out as a really, you know, grim dark, like gritty style Chaos Warrior, you know. So yeah, I did. That's my own kind of style, studio style, which I've still got to finish off. I was just working on the thingy there. So box art style, or box photo style, basic for a beginner, and then this is my actual style that I want to go with. This kind of like really nice black and turquoise style armor with different coloured cloaks. Fur. Just got to finish off the weapons still on these guys, but I will be transposing this style, this colour scheme onto these guys, Jerry, these AOS ones. I've got all my units already done up and ranked up, so they just need literally painting in a big full-on painting session. I do have the obviously I got the cafe battalion set as well, buddy. So I've got the oh, 1 second, I can probably show you. I've obviously got these guys. Obviously the ogres that you've got in the cafe and set to paint up. I've got I was working out my basing scheme for them first, so I've got that sorted out now. How I like that to be done. I've got some what do you call them? Cherry blossom. Oh wait, I've got 1 second, buddy. I'll should be here somewhere. There we go. Got it. Yeah, sorry, pal. There we go. This is the my actual basing scheme for the cafe army. So yeah, so cool, the cherry blossom on top, and these ones are going a bit fucking weird for some reason. So yeah, so that's gonna be. I think if we do, they won't be. Okay, so again with the Games Workshop back office politics, I don't know. I think ogre models, I think you might see new Imperial ogres and more ogres for cafe, but I don't think we'll be. I don't think actual Ogre Kingdom ogres will get new models by SDS. I think if they do get new models, it will be Games Workshop's main department, buddy, for AOS, which again you can just stick on square bases. That's what I do for a lot of the stuff. The Chaos Chosen, they're the AOS ones, because again, I think for the money there isn't much difference between them and the metal ones that SDS are putting out. Easier to get hold of, and there's I think there's I think one of the Chaos Chosen has a what do you call them? A Sigma Doodah guy, Retributor or whatever, helmet mask on his loincloth. But I just shaved that off. I used nippers to nip it off and then shaved it back, and I stuck a just a generic skull on there instead from the skulls kit. So I just played around with them a little bit, and they just work out fine. So they rank up fine on 30 mils. Yeah, they're equipped right for the game. So I just kind of like I would like to see some new stuff, 100%. But I've got a feeling they're going to focus on. I've got a feeling that whatever horse trading Games Workshop and SDS did back in the day, before they worked on Old World, is kind of like more or less. I think for the next couple of years, buddy, maybe for a while, you're going to be looking at, what armies are armies and what armies aren't armies, if that makes sense. So the ones that we have, I thought, plus Cafe. I hear rumours that there might be a Dogs of War release, which I think I'm looking for. I would love an updated Dogs of War release, 100%. I just love the idea of Dogs of War, which again you could get ogres for in that as well, like really nice ogre models. But there just wouldn't be ogre kingdoms, you know, because obviously ogre kingdoms are like Eastern style, they're from the East. Whereas obviously you have like Imperial ogres and stuff like that, have a different sort of look to them and stuff. But then these are obviously like Dudar as well, of course. These are much more Cafean in appearance. But I've got my personal theory is, I think a lot of older sculpts will get new sculpts going forward. I've got a feeling that Bretonia are going to get, at least I hope they do, because I really want to collect a bigger Bretonian army, is plastic kits for Grail Knights and Questing Knights. Because at the minute it's ridiculous, and they're just so. I love the. Don't get me wrong. I love the nostalgia. I love a lot of the older models. I've already got loads of the older models. I've never got rid of them, but I think some people were just worried that the game wasn't being taken seriously because it was a lot of older models that got re-released. However, that kind of worked in its favour because you have the old school boys who only play 3rd edition, 4th, 5th, middle hammer, so old hammer, hero hammer, middle hammer, they don't touch newer editions. Like 3rd edition guys only play 3rd edition, 4th edition only play 4th edition or 5th edition, whatever. So the fact that they did a lot of older models and made to order stuff really works in their favour because they weren't alienating. They were definitely reaching out to Warhammer Fantasy fans in general, which I really, really liked. So I think a lot of people have kind of got, even if they haven't bought, say, a lot of the made to order stuff to use for Old World, but they've still bought the made to order stuff because it was a damn sight cheaper than buying it off eBay for scalpers prices. It's ridiculous. So I think that was a really good thing they did, and obviously more nostalgic models, more made to orders are coming out this year. I think a couple of weeks time. I think it's some of the older Chaos models, which is really cool. So I think if they keep hitting that sweet spot of doing some old and doing some new, I think they're going to do really well. But I personally want to see new plastic Questing Knights, new plastic Grail Knights. I really want to see a plastic the damsel models, one on horseback, one on foot, obviously, just to sort of like tie in with what seems to be happening quite a bit with the models now, where they're getting like hero characters, one on foot, one on horseback, or that kind of thing. So that's I want to see new skeleton warriors and new skeleton bowmen for Tomb Kings. They of all the models, they deserve it the most, they need it the most, because I've already mentioned before, like in one of my streams, talking to a guy called Basque, who's a Warhammer player, tournament player. I said, mate, those models when they came out, 2000, I want to say 2000. I think Tomb Kings got released. The infantry and the bowmen were hybrid kits to begin with. when they got released. They were the 1995, 1996 undead skeletons with an additional sprue or two for Tomb King style shields and weapons. But the actual skeletons themselves are just so outdated now, and the poses on them and stuff like that. And obviously people are doing their own conversions and hybrids and blah blah. But I just want to see SDS release like just brand new, really cool Egyptian themed skeletons, like with headdresses and stuff like that. I mean, you've got Highland Miniatures do really cool 3D printed ones, and they look amazing. Like the cavalry are like ornate and stuff like that. The bowmen and the warriors have armor on them. You know, because that was the thing. That was the thing that always annoyed me was there was a huge difference between Tomb King in lore. There's a huge difference between Tomb King skeletons and you know, normal undead or vampire counts. Vampire counts, the skeletons are like raised from the ground, so they would have random weapons and random bits of shield or whatever. But Tomb Kings, their lore, the Tomb Kings and the Tomb Princes, their warriors, their armies were actually buried with them in the temples, in the pyramids, sorry. So their warriors and their cavalry and the infantry and stuff should be ornate, in my opinion. They should have headdresses and bits of armor and really cool stuff like that. So if SDS knock that out of the ballpark, oh my god, I want to see what they can do with beautiful, you know, modern day, you know, late 2020s CAD design, 3D print, 3D design, like modern. Oh, they'd be a big box. I'd say, you know, box of 20 or whatever. That'd be, or box of 30. Just, that'd be amazing. Different headdresses, different heads, different styles. That'll be amazing. They'll knock it out of the park. I think they're gonna. I think they will do it. They're gonna do it. It's just a case of when. And really bring Warhammer the Old World, you know, into the current day. Really, because I think that's the thing. I think a lot of us were a little bit heartbroken, because it's like, oh, it's all when the two starter sets came out, the two launch sets. Obviously, they were all old models except for the Bone Dragon, and then the Royal Pegasus for Bretonians. So it was kind of, oh, you know, it was like, oh, they're not taking it seriously. It's blah 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 blah, whatever. But the set still sold out. The set still sold out, and they made up for it by giving you a lot of models in the box, which is kind of, that's, for me, is a good trade-off. You know, not as many, you know, slightly older sculpts, but a lot more models, so you got a lot more, you know, bang for your buck, basically. I mean, so yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping that the yeah, I'm just looking forward to like seeing what, because again, people will like, it'd be like, okay, I mean, the fact the game has done so well without having a whole load of brand new fancy models is just testament to the love of Warhammer Fantasy itself and the old world and the lore and just the years of history. I think there's a lot of love there, even though Warhammer 40k is obviously the top dog, but people forget back in the day when Games Workshop first took off, it was Warhammer Fantasy all the way, baby. It was the you know, it was top of the chain there, and then obviously you know, 40k came along, but it's weird. Then the fantasy became almost like this kind of like what do you call it, like a stepchild or something, you know, like it just got kind of like pushed to the side or whatever. It was such a shame. It was such a shame, but it's back, and it's, I hope it's here. I think it's here to stay. So. And Joey, as long as, you know, people like me and you, as long as we keep painting those armies, buddy, and keep you know, getting the word out there. I think it will be. I just cracked open another can of Wingman IPA there. It's the last one in the fridge, so I thought I'd get it drunk. So it's got this weapon now. Okay, so that weapon is fully base coated with the steel there, with the bolt gun. So now we need a wash. We need a wash. A wash. A wash. There we go. Armor wash, baby. Armor wash. This is one of my favourite washes. The P3 armor wash. I need to get all the new formulated stuff, but this is basically black with some blue in it. Basically, that's one of the best washes you can use for metallic for like weapons and armors. You know, if you've just got like if you've got black wash and a blue wash in separate pots or separate bottles or whatever, add a little bit of each one to each one. A little bit of blue in the black just helps to bring out the sheen there. Just gonna do a couple of drops. Don't need a lot. I'm gonna add a little bit of water to it. I'm gonna get quite a broad. This is my. I want to talk about brushes as well. Do you know what? For the money, I'll tell you now. For the money, these are really good. System-free Dalla & Rowney. Dalla & Rowney's a brand anyway. I mean, they're a synthetic brush, but they're a really good brush. I get these from the local art shop in town. They're actually really good brushes. I've got no problem with them whatsoever. I do have Winsor & Newton. Don't get me wrong. These brushes. I mean, the doodar's faded on them now, but Winsor & Newton brushes, obviously they're absolutely beautiful. Kolinsky Sable. But yeah, for the money. Oh, there we go. Here's one with the actual label on it still. Oh. Winsor & Newton, a Series 7 Finest Sable. These, look at that as well. Look at that. Bosh. England, baby. England. Some of the finest brushes in the world. Okay. But again, they're a lot of money. I bought a whole load of these years ago when they were a bit more acceptable, but now you try and buy these now. And again, you're starting in the hobby, you ain't paying fucking for a set of free brushes, you're not paying 100 and fucking something quid. I'd never expect someone to fucking do that. Not to begin with. So just these basic synthetic brushes will do for now. And the good thing about synthetic brushes is they take a good bit of punishment as well. So I'm just going to put this armor wash over the weapon entirely. Yes, buddy, you're absolutely right, mate. It is 2020. It is, yeah. Everything all hobbies are expensive. That's one thing I always argue, Stefu, is any hobby is expensive. Fishing. Another hobby I dabble in as well, but I don't really do it as much because I don't really have the room or anything like that. But you know, being British, being English, I'm a bit of a what they call in America. They call them foamers. In the UK, they call them anoraks. I do like my trains. I do like my steam engines and things like that. So I do dabble now and again here and there in model railways and building model railway kits and things like that. But if you look at the prices now of like model trains, Jesus Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. But again, saying that, the technology and the detail on the train, on the model trains and that now are amazing. You know, but again, I don't know. It's again, it's a hobby. It's a hobby. But I would actually argue, and I would wager that probably people spend more money on fucking. Well, I know this for a fact. not because of me. I'm not a smoker by any means. But I have found members that do, and I'll tell you now, mate. If I was a smoker, I'd fucking stop. I would stop immediately. If there was ever a way to make me quit smoking, it's the price of the fucking things these days. Jesus Christ. And the thing is, of course, with a hobby, and I'll argue this as well, is that a hobby really is as expensive as you make it, really, in a way. And what I mean by that is if you go all out and you spend hundreds of pounds, thousands of pounds, obviously that's your choice to do, but it's like, you know, you can, I think a good, kind of in a way, a good incentive. This is what I'm talking about again with the hobby and my approach to the videos in a way is again like coming at it from a point of view of cost and time and resources and things like that. Because it wouldn't be an expensive hobby to get into. That in itself is like a hurdle to overcome for a lot of new people, because they're like, well, the price of stuff, blah blah blah. Is it going to be worth it? Am I going to? So it's that kind of thing. So obviously it's a case of like, you know, where you can, you know, get the bargains where you can, like shop smart and don't go out and buy. Again, this is why I kind of turn my doodahs up at. Oh, just did it again. No. Tell you what, this is a 5-minute and 55-second track. When this finishes, I'll go back to that mix I had, because that'd be a good way to see if this actually gets detected by the doodah or not. And then if it does and the other one doesn't, that means I just use the other one. But I love this. I love listening to this kind of music while I'm doing this, you know. But yeah, sorry, I'm just the hobbies itself. It's like when you have content creators and stuff, painters and so on. Obviously, with lots of channel numbers and things like that, and they're telling you to buy certain products and things like that, but they're not really thinking about well, one, like, how old is this person? You know, how much money do they actually have? Not that age really sort of like affects that, but I mean, like, obviously if you're younger and you want to get into the hobby, then yeah, it's going to be you're going to have pocket money or maybe a part-time job or something like that or whatever. You're going to be like, you don't have as much money to spend on stuff like that. So it's like, you know, well, okay, so for some things you can go to your dollar store or your pound shop or whatever for little bits and pieces, you know. Go to some places that are slightly cheaper for some stuff, but then save the actual money for for the actual, for the main bits, you know. So I'm gonna edge here the there we go. Missed that bit a minute ago. So for instance, the box set, the set of 32. So again, look around. You can get it for a good price. So that's your one main purchase. That's your models, okay? That's your models brought. That's your models taken care of. You want to practice. You want to learn. So there's your. You got 32 of them. You got 32 attempts, and guess what? You can then put them in either methylated spirits or isopropyl alcohol or whatever, and then you can strip them right back down again, and then you can repaint them again. So you got so many attempts to, like, do you know what I mean? And then if you say you get through painting, I don't know, 15 of them, and then you finally end on a colour scheme that you want. So say you end on, oh, I really like this colour scheme, but you've already painted like 15 of them. Well, guess what? The 15 that you've already painted, well, you know, it depends on how big you want your units. Like I broke mine down into 3 units of 10. But this is purely for demonstration. I'm not going to probably use these in the game, just for demonstration purposes or whatever. But you just chuck them in a old coffee jar, jam jar, an airtight container. You know, glug in some methylated spirits or some. I know. Okay, Steffi, buddy, I understand that, mate. Thank you very much for being here, pal. I do appreciate that, mate. You're an absolute star, and I love having you as my my cohort in BitDsBrush's chat there. We'll definitely clean up that chat between the two of us. You know it, Steffu, buddy. You know it. You know it. You know it. Big love. And yes, bye for all this time. After that confusion. What are we now? Oh, 6 minutes past the hour. It's top of the hour, so I think with that, to be fair, I don't really have much more to say or do this stream, to be fair. I was going to go until 10. I still go to 10. It's got now 6 minutes past 10, so I think this will be a good place to leave it as the song finishes. So what could be better than that? Let that fade out. There we go. Lovely. So, there we go. Fantastic. So I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to everyone who's who turned up for the stream, who popped in, who said hello, who lurked, who listened to a crazy bastard who likes to paint models and chat shit. So I really want to say thank you to Lord Christo. Thank you for the follow, guy. I know you've long since gone, but I just want to say it out loud now. And I want to say thank you to Joey C1, who also followed this stream. That is my first. They are my this is for my debut stream of 2026. It is absolutely lovely to have 2 new followers who are going to join the BigDsBrush family here, and I hope we get to paint some models together and share some stories and make some memories. So with that, I will be switching to. I'm going to use the Stream Deck. How about that? Oh, you can see my hand there. Woo. No. 1 second. No, 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Right, I'm going to go quiet for a second. But don't go away just yet. There we go. I should be back now. There we go. So I actually forgot to add my brand new microphone to the closing screen here. So as my closing screen says, I will look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you for stopping by, and it's time to fire up the closing theme. And it's time to say goodbye. Catch you later, guys. Take care, everyone in chat. Bye-bye for now.
Time to pack it all away. It's the end of another day, the end of another stream, where heroes dare to dream. Raise your brushes to the sky, close the paint pot, say goodbye. But don't you worry, don't you fear, our minis wait for when we're here. Armor shine.